Well, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy ChasmRift here, and today we got ourselves our second episode of It's Just a Game. You guys know how it is, the format. Just let me know down below how you feel about some of the stories I'm going to tell, or if you got any stories of your own about video gaming in general at this point. But yeah, this one's actually kind of a special episode, besides the fact that it's been months since I actually recorded one. But we're just going to get into it with 3 stories again. So the first story is about my time playing Pokemon TCG Online. So I started to play TCG Online because I decided, look, I should finally just learn how to play the Pokemon TCG game. I know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I know how to play Magic and things like that. Like, alright, let me just buckle down and learn how to play. I learned how to play. I was having a good time. I was learning some things, basically just still learning the ropes. And I decided that, like, look, I don't feel like buying that many packs right now. I'd rather just save my money for other stuff, but I don't feel like buying packs. So I'm just going to continue doing theme duels and just get myself some coins and unlock packs that way and go from there. So the reason I'm bringing up this story right now is, as I was playing through this, I was playing hundreds of matches and I was kind of hooked on it. And there was this one match that I had in particular where I was battling this one opponent. It was random theme duels. I think I was using the Inteleon deck and they were using something else. The TLDR of this is, I wasn't in a great position in my eyes, but at the same time my opponent didn't really dominate the match. It was kind of even neck and neck, but I feel like I didn't have a real win condition apparent to me. However, when I was playing the game, I saw at the bottom right of the screen it said like I had a connection issue, like it showed Wi-Fi indicators and there was a giant X over it. And then sure enough, the game ended and my internet cut out on my PC. My PC is wired up, it's Ethernet to my router. When this is happening though, what made this strange was my Xbox was on. My Xbox is also hooked up to the Ethernet, and I was playing YouTube off of it because I like to play YouTube, play music whenever I'm doing something on my PC. That was working fine. My phone, which was on the Wi-Fi, still said it was connected to the Wi-Fi, and it was working fine as well. And after a minute or so, my connection came back onto my PC. Now you're probably thinking to yourself like, oh, you know, that's just a weird occurrences, you know, it's just something weird. Well, no, that's not the case before you start typing that away. This happened again a second time, and this time when it happened and I saw what was going on, I knew it happened because I played a card Pokekid, which would have essentially won me the game. I would have pulled out my final evolution out of my deck, and boom, game won. My connection goes out after I played that card, and the same situation happened. Xbox on, my phone's connected to the Wi-Fi. This time I was able to get a screenshot of the guy. I went online, people were talking about this same recurrences happening, and essentially I was getting DDoS while playing TCG Online. I had to get a VPN just to play, and over time I just stopped playing because it's just a game, you know. Now it's just a game because look, we're playing theme duels. There's nothing on the line besides what, a win streak, maybe a couple extra coins. It's not all that worthy to just DDoS somebody while playing TCG Online. And on top of that, it looks even more pathetic when you do it in a theme duel where the decks are already pre-made. You could look up my deck listing and everything. You could essentially have my playbook and you still lose. It's not that serious. Now, while this is much worse, it would be understandable if they did this in like the Players Cup qualifier. Now, at least that would make a little bit of sense because this is a big tournament. You know, if you win out, you can potentially make it into the actual Players Cup and maybe make it onto a stream match. Sure, there's opportunities there, but for just random games, like, come on, like, how pathetic can you be? Now, the second story is going to be a little bit more lighthearted because the third one is also another doozy. The second story was how I was actually battling my nephew in Sword and Shield. He hit me up like he always do, and he asked me to battle. Okay, we're doing single battle. We did one battle, alright, it happened. I think I let him win because I usually do that. And then he said he wanted to have a 2v2 battle. Okay, I picked my 2 Pokemon, but he picked 3. And I told him like, hey, you picked 3. He's like, yeah. Basically, he didn't apologize for it, nor did he acknowledge that he picked 3. So this time, after that battle, he asked me, let's do a 1v1. I kind of figured that he wasn't going to bring just one Pokemon. So what I did was, I brought an Ice Cube with me. And sure enough, he brought 6 Pokemon. So he was trying to trick me into just being exposed. The thing about it was, my Ice Cube, I belly drummed, and then the next turn I Dynamaxed it. If you guys know what I'm going at this, I swept my nephew. I was almost saying 6-0, but I forgot. This is math. Unlike people on Twitter saying 6-0 is a 6-0 if you beat all 6 Pokemon. No, that's not how math works. I only have 1 Pokemon and I took out all 6 of his. It's just a sweep. You know, first grade education, y'all. So I beat my nephew. This, of course, I want to say, I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's just a game. What I mean by that is you gotta learn young that, like, look, it ain't cool to be bending the rules and trying to cheat somebody out. Not because, like, I'm your older uncle and I'm playing competitively. It's just, you play with, at his age, if you play with other kids, you know, whether it be kids at your school, family, or whatever, they're not gonna want to play with you if you break the rules. No one enjoyed playing the game with that one guy who gave you the broken controller. Alright, so for this third part, it's not really a story that involves me per se, but it's something I've just been seeing on Twitter and just all the social media. And that is, people are unsatisfied with the format right now for Pokemon. There are 2 camps of ideas that are being floated around right now. First one is skill level decrease in the game, and then the second one is Dynamax is broken or it's problematic or people are sick of it. And I kind of just want to address this. Now, I tweeted about this and I called out the community for having such a bad look on things. And one of the things I want to say about the whole skill level being decreased is I really do believe that people have a superiority complex, or a lot of these big name guys have their heads shoved so far up their asses they don't realize that sometimes they're the problem. It's not the game, it's not their opponents, it's not the mechanics, sometimes it's just them. They are the problem. And the reason I bring this up is, now, I'm not a big name person in the VGC community, even though I've been playing for years on the sidelines. I feel strongly about this because I've played other games. I've traveled, I've met people from around the world, and one thing I can say from all these other games is, while it's great to have confidence in yourself, you gotta learn how to be humble, people. Like, seriously. Now, to say like the skill levels decrease is honestly one of the biggest cop-outs out here. We're talking about skill level decrease in Pokemon. Think about how asinine it is. We're talking about Pokemon, the game that since its incarnation has been known for RNG, a game that's known for randomness, a game that, in fact, in other communities, we're being heavily criticized for not being a true competitive scene because there's a lack of consistency in a lot of matchups. You like to use Air Slash? Oh, well, it's so convenient that you got 2 flinches in a row with Air Slash. Oh, you missed the Rock Slide or Clutch Rock Slide that would have won you the game. Oh, man, your opponent got a crit with their max move. Like, there's elements in the game that's sometimes out of our control, players. And sometimes, while it is in our control, like, maybe instead of running Rock Slide, I should run a 100% accurate move, but at the same time, I'm losing out on spread damage, or I'm losing out on just base power damage. Like, these are decisions that you make preemptively when you go into these matches. Now, when it comes to the whole skill level decrease, people are talking about like how players are making mistakes but they can still win. I'm sorry, bro, but again, that's on you. If your opponent makes a mistake in Pokemon and you don't win against them, that's on you. It's your responsibility to capitalize on the mistake when you're playing somebody in a matchup, whether it be in a tournament or you're just playing ranked to practice. That's on you, bro. When I play fighting games, if my opponent dropped a combo but I didn't capitalize on it and retaliate in some type of way, that's on me. If I'm playing Call of Duty and my opponent really reloaded their gun and now they're kind of stuck in a weird position where they can't do damage, that's on me if I don't find a way to kill them. Hell, if I'm playing chess and my opponent and they jumped my pawn but they left their king exposed, that's on me if I don't win from that position. You see where I'm going with this? Whenever your opponent makes a mistake and you know it's a mistake, that is on you to capitalize on it. If you don't notice a mistake, then you can't say that, oh, the opponent made a mistake. Maybe they had a different thought process, or at the very least, you didn't understand it. So how can you blame the game itself or the format when those issues are on you, my good sir? The second thing I want to bring up is people forget that we're in a pandemic, and by that I mean we got a lot of things going on. We got the Players Cup qualifiers, we got grassroots tournaments and whatnot. And above all, there's no world championships going on. So in America, you need to get 400 CP in the Masters division to make it to Worlds. That's, in other countries, you need hundreds of CP to make it to Worlds. That's a lot to ask for people. In fact, a lot of people can't even make it to Worlds because that's too much of a high asking price. And other people, they got their own jobs. They got full-time jobs, they got families, they got school and other obligations. So a lot of people who are really good in this game may not be at the World Championship level. The reason I bring this up is, with this whole pandemic going on, people are competing in these grassroots tournaments, having to play ranked, and having to play in all of these pseudo events. They're starting to realize that, like, hey, The underground scene is full of top players. They may be no names, but they're putting up a lot of numbers. You can see it from the Players Cup when we watch these streams, and they show that, oh yeah, this person doesn't have any real competitive accolades, but here they are in top 16 of the Players Cup. When you watch the junior and senior division on BGC, I be watching those streams. These kids, they know how to ball out. And then above all, from traveling or going to different events, I met people who are really good but haven't had an opportunity to show themselves, or they have such a tremendous upside that it doesn't surprise me within a few months they became good. When they said that, yo, we're not gonna have a world championships in 2020, I said on Twitter that same day, like, look, I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to train. This is a whole year to get better, improve on whatever, and that's what I'm gonna do. That's what some of you need to learn how to do. Maybe instead of taking every showdown match, every rank session, every $5 tournament, and stop treating it like it's the world championships, maybe we should treat it as a chance to learn and grow. And speaking of growth, the community and the scene is evolving. We're learning a lot of stuff, we're seeing a lot of new tech, and we're seeing a lot of exploration going on. You're telling me that it's lack of skill when someone uses prankster fake tiers? I'm sorry, bro, but that could have been done in Gen 7. That could have been done in Gen 6. Like, you're telling me people using snarl screens being the new tech right now couldn't have been done back in the day? I'm sorry, it could have been. Now, I agree to an extent when it comes to the whole Dynamax thing, where Lapras is stupid in my eyes. I think Gmax Resonance is really dumb because he just bypassed the whole hill portion and it ruins hill teams altogether. And I do think Charizard next to Prankster Pokemon is problematic. But I'm not going to say that the whole skill level is decreased or Dynamax is the problem, because it's not. The same things your opponents are doing, you have access to. Like, is it really that difficult to understand that the game is not the issue? Maybe it's just we need to get respect to the players. Maybe we need to understand that sometimes we're the issue when it comes to matchups. And you guys will hear me say this all the time. Sometimes I will be mad at my opponent. Sometimes I will be salty about the RNG. But a lot of times you guys will hear me say, man, I'm stupid for making this play. Man, I jumped the gun. Man, I really messed up. Man, I don't think I'm going to win this. Y'all heard me say this because I'm being honest with myself. I understand what is my issue. Now you guys have to understand that for yourselves. Well, thank you for watching this video. It's a little bit longer than usual, but I kind of wanted to say this. Let me know your opinions down below. And yeah, I'm about to get out of here. It's for open. Gotta close them. Bye.